Hello there YouTube viewers, and welcome back to another edition of Health Matters. This week we're going to be looking at the cervical vertebrae and the posture associated with the head and the shoulders in relationship to this particular part here. Just to go through the anatomical part of it, this part here is the skull, and here are the cervical vertebrae, the neck vertebrae, and this part here is the shoulders. Let's turn it to the sideways on Gunther, because I really do need for you to have a look at this. Now, look at the position of the back of the head in relationship to the back, and the front of the head, i.e. the jaw, in relationship to the breastplate. It is over the breastplate, so it's here, all right? It's not jutting forward, and it's not right back, and it's not up. It's in a line with these bones here, which we know as the collarbone. And this here is our breastplate, and it is just in line, if we put our fingers down, just in line with the breastplate. Okay, you've got two little dips here, as you can feel, all right? And that's where that is. Turning it forward, we can see that we've got the shoulders are on here, either side, all right? That's the area we're looking at. Now, if we think about the position of the head for a moment, most of you will be unaware of just how much this little thing here weighs. Bearing in mind this is all bone, skull, housing the most important part of you, which is your brain, and it's got soft tissue for the eyes and the jaw, and obviously it's got muscle connections so that we can move our head side to side, backwards and forwards, and all different ways. Actually, we could actually go around if we so desire, but it's not a good practice to do so. But just this thing here, bearing in mind, let's look at it again anatomically. It is just this great big thing on this pole. That's it. That's all you've got. Most of you won't be aware of how much this weighs. Now, this actually weighs nearly a stone, all right, on an adult person, on this pole, and that's all you've got. One little pole and a stone weight on there. Evenly, as it is perched on here, the weight is evenly distributed. So you've got quite a lot of weight here, quite a lot of weight here on a pole that's evenly distributed. But if it tilts to one side or another, it's going to put pressure and a build-up. Now, let's talk about some of the problems that occur from doing that. The classic example is the majority of you people who do computer work sit at a desk and this happens, where you're looking at the screen, okay? You're constantly leaning forward, and this part goes right over there, putting an onus on here. Now, that's also very similar to people who read a book. We all do this. Rather than bringing the book up to here, we tend to look. If you're doing a lot of writing, it's down here. Rather than actually using your eyes, keeping your head still and using your eyes, we all tend to go down. A lot of children do it. Parents, you must have a look and educate your children to doing exactly what you are being taught here, because it is important, and I'm very hopeful that you can see and make sense of all this, okay, because it is important. Educate your children to come up to doing these things now, and they won't have the problems you've got, okay? Hopefully that will make sense. Okay, let's talk about more problems with posture. Gunther is nice and upright, but if he had his head forward on a regular basis, he would be putting onus on this part here, and that rubs on the skin that's here constantly and builds up friction, and that friction creates a pad known as dowager's hump, and that creates a nice fatty lump just here. And you will often see a lot of women who have their heads in this position with a great big fatty lump here. It's not pleasant, but it can be got rid of. You need to have good posture, and you need to break that down by massage. It can be got rid of. There could be a problem, and the reason why your head is jutting forward, okay, could be that you've got misalignment of these vertebrae, in which case you need to go and see a chiropractor, get it checked out first. All right? Plenty of soft tissue work before the chiropractor actually does his stuff, and soft tissue work afterwards. All right? Because don't forget, the muscles will go into spasm as a result of the nerve problem that is set by these vertebrae being out of alignment. If the shoulders are rounded, it will encourage the head to go forward. If the shoulders, as we mentioned in our last episode, are back, then it's anatomically impossible to get your head forward. Okay, so we need the chin to come back, and then you cannot get the shoulders forward. Okay, if you have the head forward, the shoulders can come forward. So it is important for the chin to come back so that the shoulders will stay where they're put. Now, there's a lot of problems that we ourselves do. If you're a tall person, sound doesn't carry upwards, so we automatically stoop down in order to hear what is being said from below. So if you're a teacher of an infant or junior school and your job is listening to little children, you're going to need to learn to get down on one knee rather than just bending down, or sit on one of their chairs so that you're in a vis-a-vis situation and you can hear. It happens a great deal with men who are very tall and are in social, they always go with their head bent because they can hear better. All right? Let's look at some of the pitfalls that we do already in our lifestyle. Besides the book, besides the computer that we're jutting forward, when we drive, we really should have our head on the head restraint at the back and set the mirror just slightly out of view so that you actually have to keep posture up here rather than actually, oh, it's down, I'll adjust it to me, rather than sitting with your back right at the base of the car and adjusting the mirror so that you actually have to have your eyes, and so your head is in the correct position. How many of us walk round with phones while we're doing things and look at the angle? It's always the right one. You won't ever find someone doing it with the non-dominant ear. It's always the one that they want all the time. So ladies, if you're in a job where you're doing that and typing, get the boss to get you some headphones. It is mandatory now, okay? So health and safety wise, you need headphones to stop that happening because it's RSI, okay? Anything that causes you to have your head out of this particular point will create a problem here and for your neck. Just be aware of this stone on top of your pole, okay? Keep it, just imagine you've got a string pulling you nice and tall from here. It's not a question, ladies, of double chin. I don't want to pull my chin back to get a double chin. You cause yourself a double chin because you stretch your neck out of position, and this part here that's now stretched, the skin, will fill with fat. So if you take your chin back and then you do exercises to break the fat down, stretching exercises, you can get rid of this fat and it stays gone. It's the bad posture in the first place of leaning forward that stretches the skin that causes the fat to build up. So you're creating your own double chin. Okay? It looks better. It doesn't look uncomfortable to be like that. But it does look very bad to be like that. Have a look at your posture. Get your friends to have a look. Get your friends to take a picture. Because you will not see yourself as you should be. Because you wouldn't be listening to this if you did. Have a look and see. Watch out for the dowager's hump if you've got one of those. Watch out for the head position. Make sure you're typing, your phone, and your chin is back. Till next time.